Brothers and sisters, it is the National Action Network Saturday Action Rally coming to you live on WLIB 1190 AM in New York. Call somebody. Tell them the action is on the air. The Reverend Dr. Al Sharpton is in the house and getting ready to come to you. Want to remind everybody of Legal Night this Thursday, September 28th. It is the last Thursday of the month. If it's the last Thursday of the month, it is Legal Night at National Action Network. So call somebody and tell them to be with us here on Thursday evening. Right now, brothers and sisters, I'd like you to get on your feet for the president and founder of the National Action Network, the Reverend Dr. Al Sharpton. No justice,
no peace.
No justice,
No peace.
no justice,
No peace.
no justice,
No peace.
What do we want?
Justice.
What do we want?
Justice.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
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 Hug the person next to you, tell him you love him. National Action Network Change Choir, give them a big hand. Give them a big hand. Sunday, we're happy to be with you another Saturday morning for the Saturday Action Rally for you that are here in the House of Justice at 106 West 145th Street in the village of Harlem. And for you that are listening live on 1190 WLIB AM in New York, and you that are watching live stream on www.nationalactionnetwork.net, and of course our Impact TV family will be joining us at 10 o'clock. We are happy to be with you another Saturday morning where the action is. Give a hand our presider, Attorney Michael Hardy. And to our Northeast Regional Director, Minister Kirsten John Ford. Glad to have in the house this morning the esteemed pastor of
Mount Nebo Baptist Church in Harlem, national board member of Nash Action Network, and the president of Impact, the Reverend Johnny Green, in the house. And we're glad that our national field director's in town. He's been all up and down the country, hither and thither, but he's checked in at headquarters today because we're getting ready to go abroad, and he's going to be here making sure things work out smoothly while we're gone this week, and that's our National Field Director, Reverend DeVest Toole. I'm glad to see this morning one of the women prophetess preachers that I've known all my life in Washington Temple, the Reverend Evangelist Vivian Donaldson, in the house, I see. Let me say, as we gather this morning, I got a lot of ground to cover and not a lot of time. I want to remind everybody, first of all, that tomorrow morning on Politics Nation, 8 o'clock on MSNBC, I'm going to be dealing a lot of different issues. I'm going to deal a little bit on that today. Certainly want to deal with y'all's president's speech in Alabama last night. I'm going to get into that. I'm going to wait for the Impact family to join me, for everybody to hear what I got to say. Every time I get one message, he start talking and flip the script on me, so I had to get my whole thing differently. But I want to deal with that as well as some other items. But I want to announce two things that I want you to get on right away. On October 11th and 12th, a little over 2 weeks from now, 2 days, two big events that I want you to pre-register today, because seats are limited. They're all free, but they are limited. On the 11th, they're having an all-day discussion and forum at Columbia University School of Journalism on the historic impact of Reverend Al Sharpton. It's around my birthday. And on the panel will be Joy Reid of MSNBC, and Angela Rye, and Reverend Jesse Jackson, and former Mayor David Dinkins, and Professor Crenshaw. Many of you know Crenshaw is the academician, the academic that started the whole question of intersectionalism, and she used to come here every week. A lot of folk come through now, and on and on and on. It'll be all day, and it's free, but you need to pre-register. You can register at the counter, or you can go online to www.nashactionnetwork.net. It is really to put in perspective the work that we've done as we try to urbanize the King movement. King movement was a southern movement. It went north with Reverend Jackson in Chicago. Then when it came to Brooklyn, we grew out of that, and they're going to do a span of what that meant. I'm not allowed to talk. I'm going to have to sit there and hear all of them analyze that. And they have people that came out of this movement. Joy, who started with us in Florida, and others. And that's at Columbia University on the 11th. Then the next night, the 12th, is the Triumph Awards, and it will be returning to New York. And the Triumph Awards will be at Lincoln Center. And we're honoring this year Lynn Whitfield, the actress, the legend of Self Valerie Simpson, Dr. Ian Smith, and Cynthia Nixon, who's been a real progressive for us here. Y'all know her from various movies and Sex and the City. I don't watch shows like that, but Kirsten told me about it. So I want y'all to register, get your tickets today. It's 2 days, and register for both. All are free. And it is, you only got 2 weeks, but it's not a lot of seats, so you better grab them now. I want you also to continue to support the efforts around our recovery, our replace, the people in these cities that have been hit by the hurricane is something that we're very concerned about. So when we say that we want to deal with recovery and rebuild, we're talking about not recovery and replace. And we want you to stay on top of that. So I think that I wanted to get those announcements out of the way very early, because a lot of us will come at the last minute and say, I want to go to the thing Columbia about Red Mile, or I want to go to the Triangle Ward, and the rooms, they only hold like about 800, and they'll be gone. I run in there every April at the convention. Red Mile, they didn't let me in, so well, you didn't register. And especially if it's free, there ain't no reason for you not to sign up if it's free. Am I right? But I think sometimes that we take for granted the things. One of the reasons why, and welcome our family on Impact listening and watching all over the country. We're happy to be with them another Saturday morning. One of the things that I saw this week in the Congressional Black Caucus week, we were there dealing with asset management, blacks getting their fair share. We had Senator Cory Booker. Cory Booker be on my television show in the morning, Politics Nation, on MSNBC at 8 a.m. One of the things that we've got to deal with is not apologize for our blessings. And not be so caught up in majoring in our downside that we can't celebrate our upside. A lot of us have an eternal pity party. We get up in the morning feeling sorry for ourselves. Go through the day feeling sorry for ourselves. You've got to stop engaging and involving and embracing the spirit of self-pity. Oh, nobody give me my respect. Nobody like me. I know she don't like me. I stop talking to folk like that. Because you got to enhance your positive side in order for it to grow. If you want to grow a seed, you water a seed. If you water a seed of pity and people disliking you and people beating you down, that's what's going to grow. Folk walking the rallies. Y'all know they don't like me. Well, then stay home. Because you are already projecting that, and it's going to come back to you. I don't care who don't like me. I like myself. And God has blessed me. Despite whatever they say or do, God bless you anyhow. One thing, you read the Bible.
Yes, sir.
Jesus never asked for permission to heal nobody. Let me get real clear. Everybody he healed, there would have been reasons for him not to heal them. Bartimaeus, blind man sitting by the side of the road. Jesus didn't check with everybody and say, is he a good guy? Has he ever made a mistake? Did he cheat on his girlfriend? Did he shoot crap? Jesus said, he's blind. Open up your eyes. Your faith will make you whole. So why are you allowing people to put qualifications on your healing that God didn't put on? I say all the time, Reverend Green, that God has forgiven a lot of us and we've not forgiven ourselves. You holding more on against yourself than God holds on you. So I want us to really deal with where we are unapologetically. Folks say to me, Reverend Al, you've been out here a long time, made mistakes. I said, I made plenty of mistakes, but I'm still out here. would show whatever mistakes I made didn't stop me. You more caught up in them than I am. In fact, I'm on my way to my next meeting. I'll see you later. Well, let's talk about it. Ain't nothing to talk about. I got through that. Hello. Well, didn't you do 90 days in jail? Yep, but I'm out now. Don't get trapped and get glory out of being down. Well, you know, I'm controversial. I'm not. Yes, you are. No, you got the controversy. I'm respectable. I look in the mirror every morning shaving and talk about how respectable I am. I'm not going to let others define me. Don't let others project on you their labels, their titles. They told me the other day down in Washington, Reverend Al, I think you got a problem with me. You do? Yeah, well, first of all, I ain't thinking about you at all. Second of all, if you think I got a problem, then you should come talk to me. But if you want to sit over there and imagine that I got a problem, or even imagine I'm even thinking about you, or even knowing whatever it is, you sit on over there and do that. I'm on the way to do my radio show. I mean, just all kind of foolishness. And a lot of it because you want attention, rather than to get up and do your work and your purpose in life. Don't get trapped in that nonsense. Now, let me say this by the way of announcements before I get into my message. One, I want to ask all of your prayers. Tomorrow, as I said, I'm doing Politics Nation in the morning in our radio show. And then we are going, a whole delegation, my daughters, everybody. We all go, Attorney Hardy. I'm leaving tomorrow night for Dublin, Ireland, where on Monday, I'm going to be presented with the James Joyce Award there, as well as the honorary fellowship at their university. And then on Tuesday night, leaving there, everybody going with me think they're going to see Irish Eyes, they're going to see Irish Airport. And then we leave Tuesday night and head on to Durban, South Africa, where I'm keynoting the Essence Music Festival in Durban on Wednesday night and Thursday morning. And I'll be back here on Friday, so I'll be at the rally next Saturday. Now, of course, we probably will have a pill and a blanket for Attorney Hardy's jet lag, but we'll be here, even though he might be jet lagged out. We'll be here next Saturday. But I wanted him to go and everybody that's going with me, because this is a major honor in Ireland, and I wanted to also support Essence in Africa. I pray, I want all of y'all's prayer. That's a whole lot of flying in 4 days, but we gonna do what we got to do. I want all of you that are watching us, there has been a lot of people that have called us that have problems, a lot of people that have called us that are facing situations that have nowhere to go and nowhere to turn. And I have told people watching us on Saturdays that whatever your situation, whatever city you're in, if you have a community issue or need, you can call National Action Network and we will try to help you or find out who can. And you can call us at 877-626-4651. Right now, I've got people at the phone, 1-877-626-4651. The other thing is some of y'all need prayer. Some of y'all right now watching and sitting where you are need prayer. And sometimes you just can't feel like your prayer is not getting through. Well, you could call right now. There's some folk here can get a prayer through. And we have our prayer warriors on the phone.
Yes, sir.
We don't just march here and protest here. This is a religious-based organization. And you can call us at 1-877-626-4651 and say, you know, I got a health condition, or I got a financial situation, and I got this. Would you pray with me? We do it right now while I'm talking at 1-877-626-4651. We are continuing to support the people in Houston and in Florida that were impacted by the hurricane. And we want you to support those efforts. Now, this new health care bill, I want to talk about that a minute, then I've got to go to the president's Alabama address. And then from there into my message, because it's going to connect. So stay with me. They have proposed from the beginning that they wanted to repeal and replace the Affordable Care Act known as Obamacare. As long as you've heard the president proposing Obamacare, they have been opposed to it and said we need to replace it. They campaigned on it in the midterms in 2014 and in the presidential in 2016. There's the old expression, be careful what you ask for. Well, they won. And then everybody, including their own, found out they did not have a plan. There is nothing more insidious and nothing more contemptible than to talk about stopping people's health care when you don't even have a plan that would keep them covered and therefore restore their health. How you gonna stop something when you got nothing to replace it and you talking about people's health? I want y'all to think about that, man, because a lot of, I was on MSNBC yesterday, and I was telling them, a lot of folks get caught up in this Trump losing and John McCain did this and this or that, and don't realize we are talking about people that need health care. We talking about people that have cancer. We talking about people that have diabetes. We talking about people that are suffering right now. This is no political game. This is people's lives. And if you don't have a better way to preserve them, why are you messing with folks' life when you have no life-saving strategy of your own? So they finally come back now with this plan with Graham. And Graham has proposed a plan that would take billions of dollars off over a 10-year period. Bring it back down to the states in block grants, which is the states' rights version of health care. And each state would then decide on who qualifies at what level for pre-existing conditions. So the language says, no, we're not ending pre-existing condition. That's the language. But the reality is that they make it unaffordable because they set it so high that you can't afford the pre-existing condition. Y'all with me? So when John McCain, to his credit, said that he will not vote for it, I've not been one that has been a great admirer of his, but when he did it last time and this time, I give a lot of respect to John McCain because it is callous and immoral to do what they're doing with this plan. Everybody needs to stand up and say, wait a minute. You cannot give the states and block grants and break this down that will cost millions of people their health care. This ain't a political issue. And I said it at the 1,000 Minister March. We cannot be so political. This country has become so polarized that because some of them don't like Obama they're going to do this. You're going to revoke or repeal Obamacare because Obama got it. This is, I say all the time, it's not about Obama, it's about your mama. That's who's on Medicare and Medicaid. I don't care who does something. If it's going to restore the health of my mother or your mother or any of your loved ones or you. You get over who did it. If I get sick and go to the doctor, I don't ask the doctor if he's a Republican or Democrat. If you're a doctor and can help me, I'm going to lay out on the table and get some help. We can talk politics after you get this pain out my body. I flew 4 times this week. I ain't asked now pilot what party he joined. 4 times. I'm going to Ireland tomorrow night. I promise you I'm not going to ask the pilot if he's Republican or Democrat. All I want to know is, can you get this thing up and can you safely get it down? You could be a Republican and a Lutheran and on your 5th marriage, but can you fly the plane is all I want to know. If you get caught up in the wrong stuff, you're going to end up with the wrong situation. And that's what we must be cautious of. So the president went to Huntsville, Alabama, and the president decided that he was going to attack McCain and that he was going to attack those that would not pass the bill. Well, first of all, the president ain't got a health care plan. No. Let's start there. Not one. He waited on Graham and Cassidy to come up with this plan after he had celebrated the last plan. Remember now, he had the victory party out in the Rose Garden and couldn't get that plan through. Now you're upset with this. Trump, this is September the 23rd. Trump has not won anything in the 9 months he's been president. Go to the UN, act like he's back in the schoolyard in Queens where he grew up. Calling the president of North Korea Rocket Man. And Rocket Man calling him a name everybody had to look up that meant ignorant. Everybody run around asking me, what does that mean? Ignorant. Super ignorant. Derangement. That's y'all's foreign policy, calling each other names. Like kids out in the schoolyard, playing with nuclear weapons. We're in a very precarious position. And then in the middle of this, I want y'all to get this now in the barbershop. Y'all listen to radio or watching the TV. He attacks last night the NFL players that have protested. And he said that, and I'm going to take my time on this, I want y'all to get this. He said that the NFL owners ought to fire any of those SOBs that protest during the flag. He said it out. This president of the United States, that the evangelicals are supporting. That one white evangelist lady said that it is God's will. He's up there calling women bees. First of all, to call somebody an SOB is to use a misogynist term against their mother. Let's start there. Here's a man now that has over and over again dealt with insulting women. All right, let's start there. Second of all, he, as the president of the United States, is suspending their freedom to protest and their right to speak. And thirdly, he is imposing his will on those owners. Talking about fire him like he's still doing The Apprentice on television. The chilling effect is that he tells the public that if they go to a game and someone protests, you should walk out. He does not address, though, what they protesting about. Why don't you, as president, address what the protest is about? Why? The reason you won't is they're protesting about the criminal justice inequities in this country that your Justice Department has announced that it will not deal with police reform, that it is not going to commute sentences even though we have mass incarceration, and that you are not going to deal with voting rights. In fact, you withdrew as plaintiffs on a case on voter suppression in the state of Texas. So to call them SOBs and not address the policies shows you the kind of political cowardice and rhetorical distraction that you're trying to play on the public. Why don't you right there, Mr. President, state of Alabama, talk about the level of incarceration or low-level crime right there in Alabama? Why don't you discuss right there the level of unemployment in communities of color right there in Alabama? Why don't you talk about the restrictive voter laws that is trying to cut down people's right to vote in the state where we did the Selma March in 1965? Why don't you grow up and act like the president and quit calling folks names and start dealing with policies, laws, and legislation? Met with the historic black college presidents and then cut their budget. Appointed Attorney General from Alabama, and he cancels all of these things. Then let me deal with talking about their mother. They are not sons of bees. They're sons of women that have had to bury their unarmed sons shot in the back in some cases. They're sons of women that had to watch their children choke to death with illegal chokeholds. That's who they the son of. You got them mixed up with some other folk. They are sons of women that had to, in some cases, raise their kids by themselves in broken communities and a broken sociology. How dare you address these men, whether it be Bennett, whether it be Kapachek, anybody else, whose black mamas had to raise them against a headwind of bigotry and discrimination, and they made it anyhow, and they were able to bring their sons through the worst conditions and made them professional football players. They are not bitches, they're the queens of the United States of America. Who you know, but I know mothers that had to struggle to raise a Michael Bennett and a Colin Kaepernick, and I know mothers like mine that raised me in a single parent home, and I'm not going to sit by quietly while you curse them so you can make some political score points with your home crowd in Huntsville, Alabama. My mama come from right down the road from Huntsville in Dothan, where she couldn't vote in her hometown till she was 39 years old. But yet she kept on fighting and kept on believing, and she held up that flag when that flag wouldn't hold her up. So her son has the right to protest, because we know that if we don't, America will never be America for everybody. Nobody told you to shut up when you wanted to protest. You questioned President Obama's birth for 8 years. Nobody fired you from the premise of NBC. You protested. You protested the policies when he made the Iran nuclear deal. Nobody told you to shut up. Nobody, when you stood up and protested every move Barack Obama made, nobody told you to shut up. But when some black boys would risk their contracts of millions of dollars to stand up for their brothers and sisters that had been incarcerated and that had been killed, and they showed the kind of integrity and commitment that you never showed. You gonna cuss out their mamas? No, we need to walk out every time you stand up. I want, as we watch what's going on, it's easy to become depressed. I was at the Congressional Black Caucus a couple of days this week. We had Senator Cory Booker and I convened a NAN panel on asset managers, on why blacks are not getting the management of monies in municipalities. Some impact, and Reverend Green has been pressing in terms of the airports and others here in this city. And we had our annual reception. And all over the caucus, I did my radio show from them, talking to all kind of people. People, well, I don't know if we gonna make it. Let me tell you something. Don't read the Bible if you're not gonna get an understanding. There has never been a time where people were not tested. And the test was to see, is your faith stronger than your present situation? Right. That's what faith is. That's what it is. Too many of you are living lives praying for untested faith. Say that again. Too many of you are living lives praying for untested faith. Lord, clear my path. Lord, move all the clouds out my sky. Lord, give me perfect health. Lord, fill up my bank account. You don't want no test. Lord, let my children act right. Lord, let my husband be right. Lord, let my wife all right. No test. No test. Stay right there. Whereas everybody that God used in the Bible faced a test in order to come into the greatness that God had prescribed for them. If you look, Reverend Truman, at Jesus on the cross, it's an example of what I'm talking about. Jesus got to the point of despair and said, if Lord, move this bitter cup. He told his father, it be your will. Move this cup. I'm at the point where I can't take it no more. I'm at the point of breaking. I'm at the point of total despair. Yes. Move this cup. I'm your son. I'm part of the Trinity. I was there when you said, let there be light. I was there when you said, let's make man. Move this cup. But then he remembered why he came in the first place. And he said, wait a minute. If he was in court with Hart, he said, withdraw. Let your will, thy will, not mine, be done. Why? Because I came for the purpose of your will in the first place. That's right. What are you saying, Sharpton? God's will is going to happen whether you are happy or sad. Right. So rather than you getting depressed or whether you feeling down, if you just make up in your mind, let your will be done, and let me fulfill my purpose in your will. You'll leave all that stress alone. Well, Red, what we going to do with Trump in the White House? We're going to keep doing what we've been doing. We're going to fight for justice. We're going to fight for fairness. I don't know what they're going to do, but I know what we're going to do. We were born to do this. Thy will.
God will.
Yeah, but Reverend, you don't understand. Trump and them got a lot of power. So did Nebuchadnezzar. So did Belshazzar.
Yes.
So did Herod.
All right.
We've faced rulers all through history. Bull Connor had power. But we got the Civil Rights Act. The Selma Troopers had power. But we got the Voting Rights Act. Every time we faced an obstacle, victory was right on the other side of the obstacle. You can't be a champion if you ain't gonna beat an opponent. Everybody won't be Muhammad Ali, but they don't want to face George Foreman. You can't get in the ring and just fight yourself. You get in the ring, start beating yourself up, you're a masochist. But if you beat your opponent, you're a champion.
Yes, sir.
That's what's wrong. We got too many masochistic preachers that get up just beating themselves up rather than fighting wicked in high places because you're scared and you won't test your faith. Holy masochism. Beat myself down. You got a demon. You this. I'm getting this all clubbed up. What about the wicked that's cutting Medicaid? What about the wicked that's taking jobs? What about the wicked that's trying to put our kids in school and cut the budget? You won't fight the wicked because you won't test your faith. But I come in the name of Abraham and Isaac and David that stood up to the wicked. And you don't belong in that league because you ain't got no faith. I can tell who you are by your actions and your deeds. You read that book on Nehemiah. When Nehemiah was a slave in another land and he heard someone come from Jerusalem, he knew them because he knew how they spoke.
Yes.
He knew who they were. I know who you are by how you talking. And if you deal only in a self-pity gospel, I know you really got some internal questions of faith. If you only can minister to yourself on your personal habits and not deal with your social circumstance, then you have questions of faith. Hello. Now, one of the things that is interesting to me is as we watch all of what's going on in the world, you know, they have interfered so in the name of corporate profit that they are dealing some disrepair to the ozone layer that has caused all of the weather disturbances. You've never seen these hurricanes one after another, earthquakes one after another. Every time you look up, something else coming. That is because they have defiled the earth that they did not create. And rather than standing up to the industrialists and the corporate giants, they just run around chasing crises. When the crisis is those that you allow to pollute the water and to burn the ozone layer off the air, and you won't confront them. And that's why Trump will go down and take some shots at some football players rather than deal with all of those environmental problem right there in Alabama. That's what he should be talking about. He's standing up there talking to people coughing and poison air. Got them worried about somebody playing the football that ain't playing because they protested. So that he will spare his industrial friends. And real preachers and prophets got to call it out. I look at all of this hurricane victims and all of this, and it is also indicative of a lot of our lives, because a lot of y'all and I face them in your life. Hurricanes out of nowhere. Dreams flooded. Wake up in the middle of what appears a disaster. And that is when you know what you believe. Where you go in hours of challenge defines who you are. That's why they say that you got to be careful how you develop a child in their formative years. Bible talks about if you raise or train up a child in the way he should go when they're old, they will not depart. Because what is in you will become you, and that's where you're going to go when you need strength. I remember there was no greater person in the 20th century than Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela did 27 years in jail, changed the country, got a popular vote, became the first president elected in South Africa, broke down apartheid, Nobel Prize winner. Very few people could say they literally changed a government and ended a form of institutional legal oppression like Nelson Mandela. And then at the height of his power and influence, walked away and said, I'm not running for re-election. I fulfilled my purpose. I'm going to retire. And pass the baton on to Mbeki and others. I'm on my way to South Africa end of this week, so I think about Mandela. But let me tell you the lesson in this, Johnny Green. When he was ailing and facing the point of death, and they said Madiba, he never stopped being called his tribal name. They said, Madiba, where and what do you want us to do if and when you pass? He said, do all that you want to do. And they did. When he died, the presidents of many countries, President of the United States, everybody went there. In fact, President Obama brought me a program back and signed it to me from Nelson Mandela's funeral. And when all of the pomp and circumstance was over, Madiba said, my wish is bring me back to my village and bury me with the elders of my village. Because I shook the world from what I learned from the elders in my village. At the end of the day, he could have been buried in the capital of Johannesburg, the father of South Africa. He could have been buried in any capital around the world. He said, bring me back to where they taught me that I was not a Kaffir, that I was a man of integrity and strength. Don't ever leave what built you up in the first place. You may stray, but your strength is in your root. I was showing kids in the Bible talk. See, we preached that wrong about the prodigal son. Bible never called him a prodigal son. Said he had a prodigal spirit. His spirit was prodigal. He was still the man's son. You never stop being your daddy's son or daughter. You can get a prodigal spirit, but you can't change who you are. And Mandela knew if I want to rest eternally, I'm going to rest where I became in the first place. That's why I don't care how many shows they give me on MSNBC and how many times I go to White House or Awards in Ireland. I come here every Saturday morning because it was this that gave me the grounding of who I am. I grew up going to Saturday rallies and Operation Bread Basket. Doing junior church at Washington Temple. I never got away from that. Folks tell me all the time, oh, I come out National Action Network, I ain't been to Saturday meeting since they left. Well, then you would never hear. They tell me that I'm in the city now, I come out the network. Well, if you did, it would be something that would make you want to come and look there once in a while, because that's your grounding. But when I can't see you exercise where you come out of, then I know you confused with a prodigal spirit. Don't make you a bad person. You just need to get that spirit out of you. Some of y'all watching right now have lost your faith because you left where your faith was based and centered. God didn't make no mistake bringing you through a certain way. That's why I love that song Aretha sing, let us all go back to the old landmark. Sometimes you got to go back to where God intersected you to reconnect the intersection. And once you are reconnected, can't no truck break that connection. Well, Reverend, what do you mean? How did this hook into the hurricane? Well, there have been hurricanes before. What do folk in faith do when they are faced with the floods and hurricanes in their life? Well, early in the Bible, they told you what to do. God called a man called Noah. He said, Noah, I want you to know something now. I'm tired of the wickedness and the insidious behavior. Yeah. I'm going to let it rain. And it's going to rain 40 days and 40 nights. I don't care what the meteorologists tell you, it ain't going to stop for 40 days and 40 nights. They're going to come out and tell you it looks like maybe it'll be over tomorrow, but I'm telling you it ain't going to be over for 40 days and 40 nights. You're going to do 40. Said, but I'm going to give you time, Noah, because I want you to build an ark. Because when the floods come, only the ark of the faithful can survive the flood. Some of y'all is in desperate condition now because you didn't believe the flood was coming. But some of us had Noah's faith and built an ark when he told us the flood may come. But if you build an ark, you can ride on top of the flood. I know why you scared, because you wouldn't get in the ark. I know why you depressed, because you are not in the ark. But if you're in the ark of faith, you can ride through the flood. He didn't tell him build a yacht now. He didn't tell him build a luxury life. You need an ark that's tough, an ark that the waves can batter but can't sink, an ark that can take folk talking about you. Can you imagine what folk was saying in town when Noah was building the ark, saying that man is crazy, that man is a lunatic, what he building the ark for, what he out there with all that wood for? It ain't even cloudy outside. You see old crazy Noah, he out there keep nailing and building something. But if God tells you to get ready, don't worry about who laughing at you. Don't worry about who's talking about you. Don't worry about who's down in you. If God tells you get ready, build your ark and wait on the Lord, because you can ride through the storm if you build your ark. Mal, I don't understand what he's doing. I'm building my ark. I don't know what Al's talking about. I know you don't. I'm building my ark. I don't know why he with all them people. God told me get 2 of each one. them going to be stinking. Some of them going to be odorous. Some of them going to be unkind. But I'm building my ark because the flood's getting ready to come. And when it floods, I can ride through the storm. I don't know why God's doing it, but I know he wouldn't have told me if he wasn't going to help me get through. Strengthen your ark. You can make it through any storm. I don't care what storm in your house. I don't care what storm on your job. Build your ark and ride on through it. Quit arguing with folk that you'll never win the argument, and build your ark where they don't matter, they don't mind. Say what you want to. My hope is built on nothing less. I'm not worried about your mouth. My hope is built on nothing less. I'm not worried about your opinion. My hope is built on nothing less than Jesus' blood and righteousness. I dare not trust. You keep listening to the wrong folk. You keep listening to people drowning in the flood. You keep listening to people that's already sinking. But there's an ark that never sunk. There is a God that sits high and he looks down low. And the White House can't veto him. And the Senate can't vote him out. There is a God that'll fight my battle if I just keep still. Stand up, black man. Stand up, black woman. Build your ark. We gonna make it. We gonna make it. We gonna make it. Everybody sing. Everybody sing. Everybody singing. Hey, sing it like you mean. Sing it like you mean. Sing it like you mean. We want justice. Got to have justice. Everybody saying. Everybody saying. Everybody saying. Everybody saying. I'm going to open the doors of the movement. There may be someone here today. Listens to us on the radio, watches the television show, but never joined National Action Network. If you're here today and have not become a member, we are getting heavy into membership orientation in October. I'm going to do an all men's orientation myself, all women. We're going to get ready and restore the arc of this organization. And you need to be a part of it. Just come down either aisle and shake my hand and let me sign you up to the National Action Network. Come right now. You that are listening on radio and want to be a member, just call 1-877-626-4651. 1-877-626-4651 and join right now on the phone, or go to www.nationalactionnetwork.net. If you're here, come on down and we'll sign you up right now. Come on, everybody sing. Everybody sing. Everybody sing. Everybody sing. Everybody singing. Yeah. One last time, y'all. One last time, y'all. One last time, y'all. gonna raise our offering. I want to commend our hospitality committee and our tech lab, what they did last week with our young people here in the huddle. I don't see our owner, but they did a great job. And our young people, Patrice Perry, and our president of Huddle, Dominique. Where's Dominique? I saw her coming. All right, she's waving her hand. She got her glasses off. I didn't know who she was. She puts on her glasses to look all educated and all. She got her class look going. I get it. They did a great job with their lab, the tech lab last week. And we are trying to deal with breaking this digital divide. Many things we are doing in the organization. I want everybody to give to the best of your ability. Don't forget, sign up today at the counter for both the 11th at Columbia and the 12th, the Triumph Awards. Everybody talk about, I want a good seat. The best seat is sign up today. Because you know, when we had Triumph Award last 2 years in Atlanta, we had a much bigger place. We're doing this at Lincoln Center. And there's only 800 seats. And you know, I will get there right on time. So I am not there to hear you ask me to get you in. I call and say, is it ready for me to go to the stage? And I walk right through. So don't be saying, I'm waiting for Rev Mal to get me in. No, I'm not. Sign up. I knew Lynn Whitfield win. I knew Valerie Simpson win. Good. Sign up. And then, of course, the symposium from 9 and 1 to 5 on our historic effect. And you should be there. A lot of people are going to talk about the historic impact we made. Now, this is not a tribute, this is an analysis. So before I talk about I should have been on the panel, everybody ain't qualified to talk about the historic impact. A lot of folk never understood. Some folk in the organization still don't understand what it meant and what it means. Because you can tell because they don't demonstrate that in what they do. So it's going to be a very interesting day, interesting panel. And I was talking with Angela Rye. Angela Rye was talking about how when she started, just 4 years ago, I put on Politics Nation 3 times a week. Same with Judge Faith. And that's how they got seen and started their career. That's impact. And that's why she's been committed to this organization. Because she said when I couldn't get a break, and I'd go there and tell the producers, no, they're not coming on, book Angela. And those are the kinds of things that you need to analyze so that others can duplicate it. Same thing with Joy. I told them when Melissa left, Joy got to do the weekend. We got to support that. But all that we're going over in Columbia on the 11th. All right, I'm going to raise our offering. I want everybody to give your best offering. I want about 10 people, about 10 that give $100 or more come first. Come on. The choir, $120. Winston Gilchrist, $100. Come on, come on, come on. Brother Granny, $100. Reverend Festoon, $100. The Guardians, $100. Come on. John, Brother Dr. Alvin Poncho, Evangelist Vivian Donaldson. Glad to see her. She helped raise me in Washington Temple. You need to go over there and anoint Dominique. She get ready to get married. Bleed the blood on her. Speak in tongues on her. That's her hair. Sister Arlen's $50. You know, we're gonna watch the temple. Dominique, you couldn't eat the last 48 hours before you got married. You had to roll in the sheets. Speaking unknown tongue. Then you get married. Couldn't do that, no wedding. $20. Come on. Now everybody, whatever you have, $1, $10, whatever you have, $5. Now, is Patrice here? Patrice is gonna be at the desk signing up. You that want to have a guaranteed free seat at Columbia on the 11th, and you that want a seat at the Triumph Awards on the 12th. Then that's a Wednesday and a Thursday. Then on that Sunday, which is the 15th, is Dominique's wedding. And there is no membership list, but if you have an invitation, you get in, and you can get an invitation at the front desk. Dominique's inviting the members to come and bring your invitation. And she's getting married at Allen. She's a member of Allen AME in Queens. And so you can get an invitation. So say I want to go to Triumph